Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys some more Cake Wars tips to become better and get wins faster. Cake Wars is an easy game, and I hope you guys can learn a thing or two today that you didn't know before. I also want to give a quick thank you because we just hit 2,000 subscribers the other day, so thank you guys so much. Anyways, let's get right into this video. Enjoy. For those of you who don't know who I am, or don't know if you can trust my knowledge, look at my stats. I got over 6,000 wins, so it's safe to say I know a little bit what I'm talking about. So please listen to all these tips I'm about to give you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into our first section, shall we? Alright, so the first thing I want to cover on this tutorial, or should I say Cake Wars guide, is speed bridging. Because honestly, if you don't know how to speed bridge yet, you're missing out. You're going to be losing games eventually, and you're also not going to be winning games as fast as you possibly can. Because if you don't know how to speed bridge, you're not going to be able to get the other team's bases fast, or you're not going to be able to just go fast. And Cake Wars is a game of speed and tempo, and I'm going to keep saying that during this videos, because really, if you want to win games fast, you got to be fast, and you can't be fast if you don't know how to speed bridge. So yeah, that's going to be the first thing we cover in this video. On to the first bridging method. So the first method of bridging I'm going to show you is called jump bridging. I've actually made a video on this quite a bit ago, actually, but I just want to make it again so I can just re-emphasize how important jump bridging is to the game of Cake Wars. Also, I want to make sure you guys know how to do it, so I'm just going to try it and hurry and explain it pretty quickly so we have time to do other stuff in this video, but still, it's an important thing to go over. Honestly, if you want to practice your bridging, go on a world and do what I'm pretty much doing, build a platform or something, and just practice your bridging. But yeah, basically, how you jump bridge is a good practice, or a good start is to get a good running start and start like right here, and then get a good running start, and then hold down your build button while looking down. And that's it's so easy. Just hold down your build button and start jumping forward and running forward. It's really easy, and I'm sure you guys will eventually get it if you practice and just keep on practicing. But if you want to take it one step further, you can go ahead and do this next thing and get a good running start, and then just start your jump bridge right at the edge. Because when you do this in Cake Wars, you're trying to save as many blocks as possible, especially when you're rushing other teams. Because if you're using too many blocks to get your running start like this, you're going to be using a ton of blocks, and you're going to need those blocks in order to rush teams fast. So being able to conserve your blocks is actually really important, and that's why you want to start your jump bridge really as far as possible. You can also do this, so instead of obviously doing the harder one and getting a jumping start, you can go ahead and do this and do that, and you're basically just getting, you're saving blocks in the long run, and it's really important to do that. So let's go ahead and move on to our next bridge. Alright, so the next bridge I'm going to show you is called scaffold bridging. It's actually a really easy method. It's basically just an addition to what we just learned with the jump bridging, but you're going a little step further, and you're looking forward instead of looking down. And basically what you're going to do is get your little running start, but then look forward. And now you're basically doing the same thing that you were jump bridging, but you're holding down your build button and looking forward. Now what this does is, in theory, look how far away I am from this. I'm like a good, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, a good 4 blocks away. So you're placing about 3 to 4 blocks in front of you at a time. So that's way faster than jump bridging and some of the things that pros do nowadays. And I find it that Windows 10 players can do this a little bit easier, obviously. But you can mix a little jump bridging and this, and you go ahead and you look forward, and you get your good, let's see, let me get it perfect, and you just run forward and do it, and it looks really good. It's such a good method. Not a lot of people use it, and it's just super important to learn. And yeah, like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for scaffold bridging. I made a huge video on it quite a bit ago, so I'm going to give a link to all of my past jump bridging videos in the description, because I go a little more in depth in those, and this one's obviously, you know, a little bit harder, right? So you want to learn a little bit better. So yeah, on to the next bridge. Alright, so this last bridge I'm going to show you today is called sprint bridging. It's honestly the most common used bridge in Cakewars, but if you want to get better, you want to use one of these ones. But this is pretty much the mediocre or your beginner's bridge that you want to start on if you don't feel comfortable doing these ones if you're on Windows 10 or Xbox. However, if you are on mobile device or your touch controller, this is the best bridge for you that you can do possibly, and it's the fastest. So basically what you're going to want to do is stand at the edge of a block, and you're just going to practice placing and sprinting forward. You can also add a little shifting into it if you want to practice, but you want to get into rhythm. Now, to get a little better, you're going to start sprinting forward and pressing your build button like that. So then you get a little bit faster and it just looks good. And yeah, so that's basically it for the sprint bridge, but also I want to show you that it is possible on mobile. So I'm going to hurry and switch to mobile real quick. And now I'm going to start sprint bridging in 3, 2, 1, go. And yeah, you want to get let me switch the controller. You want to get a consistent tapping method into it, and that's basically it for the easiest mobile bridge you can do, and it's really fast. I hope you guys all learned something from this little section. Speed bridging is important, and yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next section. Although all Cakewars games have different scenarios, having the ability to make decisions quickly and efficiently can save you time when winning games fast. It can also be the difference between you getting the W or you catching the L. Here are the 3 common scenarios players are put in and how you can make the right decision for your team. Scenario 1. You're capturing an emerald point and you notice 2 to 3 players on the other team across from you are heading to middle to capture it. What do you do? And you have 16 to 24 blocks of wool. A. I capture my emerald point and go back to my generator. B. I capture my emerald point and speed bridge to enemy's team's base to attempt to eat their cake. C. I immediately start speed bridging to the enemy's team's base to eat their cake. There are 2 correct answers depending on how you look at those things, but in my opinion, answer C is better than B, because here's why. When a team leaves their base and you see that, you need to take immediate action and take that opportunity to get the enemy's cake out of the game. You also want to move really fast, so taking that 1 to 3 seconds of capturing an emerald point could be the difference if the opposite team notices you and prevents your attack. Although capturing emerald points are good, I wouldn't prioritize that over an easy cake opportunity. Scenario 2. You just died and respawned, and unfortunately your teammates are camping and taking all the generator loot. You do remember though that you or another team killed the entire red team earlier. What do you do? A. Realize that waiting would be a waste of time, so go to middle and fight more enemies and wait your turn for the generator. B. Be patient and use the generator with your teammates, get weapons and tools, and be on your way. C. Realize waiting would be a waste of time, so you could go to middle and head to the deserted base and collect their resources. Believe it or not, C is the correct answer in this scenario, and here's why. If you respawn with nothing and you notice your teammates are hogging all the resources, you can easily, if there is an enemy team gone from the game, you can easily just head over to their deserted base, and there should be at least 30 bricks on the generator for you. That's something that I know a lot of people don't know about, and I definitely recommend doing this strategy, because if you do get those 30 bricks, that's enough for blocks, swords, tools, and some armor. It's a smart decision and can make you prepared for the next rush. If you sit on the generator, you're wasting precious game time, and remember, Cakewars is about tempo and speed. Scenario 3. At the start of the game, you are rushing middle, and you notice that red and blue both have endstone, and you have no pickaxe. However, green team has no cake defense. What do you do? A. Capture middle and go back to base. because your first and second options covered their cake with endstone. B, capture middle and rush red team because they have a Steve on their team. C, don't capture middle and immediately rush blue team because if you go fast enough, maybe you can mine the endstone with your fist. D, don't capture middle and immediately rush green team because they haven't covered their cake yet. The correct answer here is D, and here's why. If you ever are at the start of the game and you are trying to decide who to rush first, always look at your ticker and see how many players are on each team. Usually 3 to 4 players unless people leave. Your first priority should be taking out the 4-player team's cakes first. So look at the base and see if they have covered their cake with endstone or clay yet. If that team has indeed covered their endstone at the start, then you should go to your second option. If the second option is open, then go for it. You should always go for the easy cake opportunity. A team without a cake can't respawn, so anytime you take out a cake, you are one step closer to winning. So how did you do? If you got 100%, I'm impressed. Shows you are in the right mindset when it comes to making good decisions for Cakewars. I do, however, want you guys to realize that those are only 3 scenarios out of millions that could happen. The game of Cakewars can be unpredictable sometimes, and the more you play the game, the more smarter you will become. So I encourage you just to log on and play more games because you will eventually develop some good game sense and decision making. Deciding what kit to use is important and can influence your playstyle. I recommend if you're confident in your PvP skills and want to be able to 1v4 teams with ease, you should choose the warrior kit because for every kill you get, you receive strength and regeneration too for like a couple seconds. This means taking out teams of players are easy. It's also the free default kit, so you don't have to spend a single gem. So yeah, the warrior kit, it's free to use, and it has regen 2 and strength 1. Moving on to the builder kit, it costs around 2,000 gems I believe, and you spawn with 16 blocks of clay, and you generate clay every few seconds. The builder kit is amazing because you get to start with 16 blocks of clay. That's like instant cake protection and will help you hold off any rushers. It's also a great way to spend less bricks on wool because you are constantly getting blocks of clay every few seconds. Archer kit's kind of expensive and it's like 5,000 gems I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to check and make sure, but I can't remember the exact price. But you spawn with a bow, which is huge. That's awesome because it takes 12 bricks to buy a bow. So if you're spawning with a bow every time, it's awesome. Receiving an arrow every 5 seconds is pretty awesome too. You can hold a maximum of 3, and it's pretty overpowered. Honestly, the Archer kit's a good kit. However, it has kind of fallen off the past few months, and here's why. Although having a bow is a good advantage because of the knockback system Mineplex has in place, it's become less effective for shooting people off. It's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. Choosing your kit is entirely up to you and your playstyle. If you're playing with friends, communicate and try to build the best combinations of kits. And that's all I gotta say for this section. Map knowledge is very important, guys, and I went over this really fast last time, so here are your rushing links and how many blocks it takes on each map to get to places. It's important to know these things so you gain a better knowledge of what you're playing on. On the map Boardwalk, which is my personal favorite, it takes 12 to 16 blocks from the team island to get to the middle point. It takes 6 to 8 blocks from the team island to the emerald point, and it's an 8 brick rush, which means all you need at the start of the game is 8 bricks to get an iron sword and 16 blocks of wool, and then you can take the side emerald points and get to the enemy team space fast. On the map Marley Mushroom, it takes 16 to 20 blocks from Team Island to middle point, it takes 12 to 16 blocks from the Team Island to the emerald point, and it takes 11, and it's a 11 brick rush. This means you get 11 bricks at the start of the game and buy an iron sword and 32 blocks of wool. You rush through the side island / emerald point and can build to the other team's base, similar to similar to Boardwalk. Cherry Falls, 18 to 20 blocks from the team island to the middle, 12 to 16 blocks from team island to emerald point, and it's an 11 brick rush, which means you get 11 bricks at the start of the game and instantly buy an iron sword and 32 blocks of wool, and then you rush through the side island or emerald point and build to the other team's base, similar to the first two we mentioned. Here's where we switch things up a little. On Oasis, it takes 20 to 24 blocks from the team island to the middle point. It takes 20 to 24 blocks from the team island to the emerald point. So it's a 14 brick rush, which means you get 14 bricks at the start of the game and buy an iron sword and 48 blocks of wool. And then you build to the middle or emerald and build to another team's base. Dynasty. It takes 20 to 24 blocks from the team island to the middle point, and since the emerald points are a little bit weird on this map, it takes about 24 to 30 blocks from the team island to the emerald point. It's a 14 brick rush, which means you get 14 bricks, and at the start of the game you buy an iron sword and 48 blocks of wool. You then hurry and build the middle and build to another team's base. You go through middle on this map especially because emerald points are really weird on this map, so you don't want to side rush. On Ascent, it takes 18 to 20 blocks from the team island to the middle point. It takes about 20 to 24 blocks from the team island to the emerald point. And it takes 12 to 16 blocks from the middle to the emerald blocks, or to the emerald point, because of those little, because the middle island also has a connection to the emerald points. It's a 14 brick rush, which means you get 14 bricks at the start of the game and buy an iron sword and 48 blocks of wool. You then build to the middle and build to another team's base. Always go through middle on this map also, because if you get to middle, you'll have also a connection to all the emerald points. On the map Azienda, it takes 18 to 20 blocks from Team Island to middle. It takes 20 to 24 blocks from Team Island to emerald. And it takes 6 to 8 blocks from the middle to emerald, because it's also got a connection to the emerald points through middle point. And it is a 14 brick rush, which means you get your 14 bricks and buy an iron sword and 48 blocks of wool, and then you build the middle and you build to another team's base. On Bucolic Bedrock, which actually they changed the map structure while I was gone, so now it's actually a really good map. It takes 12 to 16 blocks from the team island to middle, so it's a really fast rush. It takes 12 to 16 blocks from the team island to the emerald point. And yeah, so all you need is 11 bricks to rush on this map, an iron sword, and 32 blocks of wool. Having great PvP skills is super important. To be able to win Cakewars games fast, without good PvP knowledge, you will be left losing fights, and more importantly, you'll be losing games. I'm going to be teaching you some PvP skills you need to know to get better at Cakewars, so you can become 10 times better. The first thing I'm going to talk about is strafing. If there's one thing that you should learn from this section, it is the ability to strafe. I made a strafing tutorial not too long ago. I recommend you go check it out because I go a little more in depth. So if you want to, get a little more tips, you can go to that video. I'll leave a link in the description. But basically, to summarize what strafing is, it's the ability to move from side to side and create unpredictable movements for your opponent. When you do this, it makes it harder for your opponents to hit you and aim at you. When your opponent is getting less hits on you, this can create more opportunities for you to be able to combo them. Having good movement can help you win more fights. Sprint resetting. Here on Bedrock, W tapping and S tapping are very important, but for you players that are on controller or mobile, I will use the term sprint resetting. So what exactly is sprint resetting? Well, in Minecraft, when you hit someone or something while sprinting, they will take knockback. However, after that first hit, it will stay the same. So when you sprint reset, you are going to be dealing more knockback, which in return brings in more combos. This can be done by letting go of your forward button or backwards button. This will stop your movement and sprint reset. So then you start sprinting and hitting again. Block placement. Using your blocks are so important in Cakewars. Knowing how to block trap can be very useful. However, one of the most underrated skills out there is knowing how to slow your opponent down and gain an advantage. In theory, when you are moving faster than your opponent or your opponent is slower, you have the potential to deal more knockback, and that leads to more opportunities for combos. I will show some clips of me using my blocks to my advantage. Bridge fights. When fighting on a bridge, be smart and try to hit them off, but avoid being hit off yourself. This can be countered by placing blocks and building above your opponent and gaining the height advantage. Although on Mineplex bridge fights can be sometimes scary, being able to outsmart your opponents can be very helpful. Even though winning games by yourself, aka solo queuing, can be easy sometimes, when you play with your friends, not only does it make your games go quicker, but now you can have more communication and teamwork. This leads to better and faster wins. Having people you can rely on is a good thing, because now you don't have to be carrying your teammates every game. If you can get 1 to 3 friends to join you, it will be awesome, because now you guys can divide and conquer, and when rushing teams, each player, depending on their skill level, should be able to focus on one enemy team. For example, player 1 should focus on team blue, player 2 should focus on team red, player 3 should focus on team green, and player 4 can focus on either defending the cake or helping 1, 2, or 3 with the rush if they're struggling. This is how me and my friends achieved the fastest Bedrock Cakewars win on Speedrun.com. Link to that video will also be in the description. For another thing you can do is get an Xbox call or Discord call to help communicate better, or use team chat in game. When you go on Mineplex, go to chat and type party invite and then your friend's gamer tag, and then you guys can make a party and go dominate Cakewars together. So the final part of this video is just going to be putting everything together. I just took a random game from one of my win streak videos, and I'm just going to be going over my thinking and like exactly what strategy I'm using, which is the rushing strategy, which I think everyone needs to learn to know, because if you know how to do this strategy, you're going to be winning really fast games, depending on who you're playing against or just the skill level of other players. First thing you want to do, obviously, is choose your kit. For me, I'm going to go with the warrior kit. At the time of this video, there was a glitch where you could also get 16 blocks of clay while using it, so if you want to use the builder kit, you can too. So in this case, we're using the warrior kit / builder kit in this video, or in this section. But yeah, so basically, you're going to go ahead and get 14 bricks on this map, because it is Dynasty, and Dynasty is a 14 brick rush. So what that means is you get 14 bricks, or enough to get 48 blocks of wool, or 48 blocks in general, and an iron sword. So since I have the builder kit, that I cover my cake, but I also use some of those clay blocks to go to middle. I see green's rushing me. I check. Green has 4 players on their team. Now I go check and see if they covered their cake yet. They haven't, so I'm going to go ahead and go after them. This guy's following me, so I'm going to try and block trap him. Unfortunately, I failed there. However, I almost knock him off. I didn't knock him off. I kill him, and there we go. In that situation, I could have actually knocked him off there. I was just bad and wasn't able to knock him off because I made a mistake, but that's okay, because I'm still able to eat their cake because it was right there. And remember, free cakes are everything. Even if I die here, I'm happy because I was able to get the cake. But in this situation, I'm able to kill pretty much the whole team, I believe. Yeah, I do. I killed the whole team. I'm going to go ahead and kill this last guy. Now he's dead, and now the next step is to get some more resources, definitely more blocks. If you want to be a little more risky, you can actually start heading over to the next base now. And okay, I'm not. This yellow guy kind of just interrupted us, but yeah. So yeah, you get your 14 bricks, or not 14 bricks. You get more bricks so that you have enough blocks to get to the next base. But also, I recommend everyone getting an iron pickaxe for your second rush. And yeah, so now we got our iron pickaxe, and now we check our team bar. Both teams have 4 players, so I guess here I can choose. I'm gonna go for yellow because they have middle, and I start heading over. I notice, all right, they don't see me yet. Now this guy might see me, so I'm gonna turn around, try and bait him onto this bridge. Unfortunately, he didn't see me, so I'm gonna go in again. But this time this guy sees me, so I try to bait him on the bridge, try and block trap him or something. However, he was smart, but he forgot to turn his head back to me, and we end up killing him. And now we're gonna go ahead and go on a killing spree, W tap and S tap him off, and we're gonna just easily kill yellow here. They just weren't ready. This guy's gonna try and run. Always kill people that try and run away, because they're most likely gonna end up going for your cake later on. And now yellow's dead. So now we got 2 teams down in a span of like 2 minutes or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so now you go on to the next space. In this situation, you want like 20 blocks because this is Dynasty. But remember, on every other map, the layout is different. So you want to go back to that map guide I gave you earlier and calculate how many blocks you need to get to each base. Keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and eat this cake. And yeah, this should be an easy win because, yeah, and I do remember we win here. I blocked that off using some block placement. And you're just going to knock this guy off. There we go. And yeah, that's easy for us. That's an easy win. This is the last guy. And yeah, so hopefully that made sense. And that's pretty much going to be it for this section. Rushing is very important. I hope you guys all understand how to do it. Thank you. Well, I think that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something from it. Man, because really, Cakewars is an easy game. The more you play it, the more you will be better at it. Take my tips in consideration when you try and become the best at the game. Seriously, guys, I know you guys can do it. Take some of the tips from this video. I promise you will become 10 times better. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to read the description if you have any questions. There will be some links or timestamps to where some things happened. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe if you're new. I spent a lot of time on this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
I said, baby, I said, what's up? You always showing love, you never getting up. I said, baby.